There we go. There's fish. That's a good hit. So today I'm out doing a little bit of fly fishing from the kayak. And a lot of people ask why I don't do more fly fishing videos. And I do enjoy fly fishing, but I tend to only fly fish when I feel like it confers some sort of advantage to me. And if the fish are feeding on something really small, or if I'm in the stream systems and I want to be able to drop flies into slots behind boulders, that's when I feel like I want to use it. Or, like today, I'm going to use it because I'm on a lake that is fly fishing only, so I'm legally obligated to do so. And in most still water situations like I'm on today, where I'm basically fishing a pond, I would normally not want to fly fish. I would normally want to use gear because I can cover more water more effectively, more depths more effectively. I would not normally use flies in a still water situation. Woo. I think that's in part just because, I don't fly fish for the experience of fly fishing. I just fish to catch fish, and in general I find I catch larger and more fish on gear than I do while I'm fly fishing. It's not to say I don't catch big fish while I'm fly fishing. I'm just overall, over the years, I've just noticed that that trend that I just tend to do a smudge better when I'm fishing with gear rather than a fly. Nice fish. There you go. Took a chartreuse booby fly. Kind of a lanky looking little rainbow, but not too bad. Alright, we'll get him going. Here we go. Good length on him, but he's got some copepods going on there. We'll get him going. That's just on a little chartreuse booby fly here. I'm running it on a full sink line. Because water temps right now are still in the low 60s on the surface, so I feel like those fish are probably going to be feeding about 10 to 15 foot down. That's what I'm seeing here in my fish finder too. So the full sink and booby helps me get down, but keeps me above the weeds that I'm periodically marking on my fish finder here. Today I'm on a fly fishing only lake, and when I fish still water with flies, I don't tend to do a lot of cast and retrieving, like stripping streamers or things of that nature, especially when these fish are, running, 10 feet deep or more. So like a lot of fly anglers in the Pacific Northwest, I'm just going to be slow trolling a streamer on a full sink line out of my kayak. You'll see a lot of guys doing this in belly boats and rowboats too. I'm just going to plink along here at about 0.8 to 0.6 miles per hour and let that full sink line get that fly down there into the strike zone where these fish are feeding a little bit deeper. Or I'm going to still fish with like chironomids under an indicator, right? That's the other option, which I tend not to do because I just find staring at an indicator to be incredibly boring, but it can be very effective. So, in my kayak, I tend to troll in reverse just because I'm not going to run two rods, especially when I'm fishing these boobies and blob flies that I like to fish, because they will swallow them if you give them too much time. So I like to be able to feel that strike. I like to be able to impart a little bit of action like this on the rod tip, make that fly dart a little bit, see if I can't draw a strike. And I just enjoy being able to fight the fish a little bit, off the bow rather than behind me where I'm twisting and turning. It's a little bit easier to do that with a spinning rod or like a line counter when I'm trolling, but with a fly rod, I prefer to fight the fish in front of me. There we go. I fed him and following it there for a little bit. Ooh. A little bit of weight there. I like to keep moving because this is a barbless fishery, so it helps keep pressure on them. Yeah, I've always been a little bit perplexed by the existence of fly fishing only lakes. I mean, I do fly fish, and I've never felt like I needed a lake to myself in order to effectively fly fish. I have no problem as a fly angler sharing a lake with spin fishermen. And if the goal is to create, a lower pressure, less harvest fishery, well, the framework for that already exists within our current regulations, which is just a selective gear rules lake, which is just allows barbless hooks, no bait, only one fish allowed to be harvested per day, which is basically the same as fly fishing only, except you can fish with a spinning reel. So I've never really understood the head thumper, the need for fly fishing only, unless the goal is to actually create just an overall lower pressure fishing. Almost every lake I go to that is fly fishing only, it's a really beautiful brown, is empty. Like today I have the whole lake to myself. Aside from a few popular fly fishing only lakes in the state of Washington, most of the time when I go to these lakes, I am the only angler there. Oh, that's a gorgeous brown. I guess if that's the aim of the fly fishing only lakes, then I understand that. Because just not many people fly fish, which is weird to me. Then why are we catering to a minority if we really want to maximize fishing opportunity? This is a stunning brown. I mean, the colors on this are really spectacular. Look at that brown. Isn't that pretty? Woo-wee. The male has got the fall colors coming on. Beautiful. Woo-wee. Look at that pretty brown. Gorgeous. Let's get him back in the water. There you go. Every time I've been here, I'm always the only person here. In fact, aside from, I think, maybe like one lake in southwest Washington that's fly fishing only lake, every other fly fishing only lake I've ever been to, I'm the only one there, or one of very few. And everybody who's there seems to sleep in anyways. Most fly anglers don't tend to hit the water until later in the day, I've noticed. It's just a habit that they tend to have. I think it's the belief that they're going to wait for the bugs to start hatching when it's warmer, which is good, but that's fine if you're fishing dries and whatnot. But I tend to fish more non-traditional patterns or nymphs and do better anyways. Definitely hanging on that break where it's going from about 15 foot to 30 foot. There's a transition where it slopes away. I come out here, I mark a few scattered fish around 15 feet, but I get in there and I'm seeing a lot of marks. It looks like they just planted some fingerlings, so I'm seeing lots of little fingerlings, which is great because I'm basically dragging around a big showy streamer, and these fish are keyed in on eating these fingerlings. I'm sure these big browns love it when they dump fingerlings in here. Ooh, he's doing that. There we go. Got him. And I will say that, these fly fishing only lakes, it's not just like a Washington phenomena. I've encountered fly fishing only regulations pretty much in every state in the western United States and the Northeast. I've also saw it in Tasmania, so it's really a global approach to fisheries management. It's interesting to me because I feel like fly fishing is a relatively uncommon pursuit compared to, like, if you look at some of the statistics I've seen, that, you know, somewhere only around 8% of all fishermen in the United States are fly fishermen. And a fair number of those also practice, you know, more traditional forms of fishing. So it's really interesting to me. You know, I always think that, you know, one of the strengths of the North American model of fish and wildlife management is that it doesn't cater to, is that it is a democratic approach, right? That is, there's no special treatment for one user group over another. At least it's not supposed to be. And this is clearly a case where they are catering to a special user group. It's just a little brown. I'll show you him real quick. I'll probably just spit the hook, but buddy, pretty little guy. He's a little pretty dude. Let's get him going. There he goes. That's a little bite. There he is. Feels like a little guy. Probably one of the little fry they planted. I got my squeaky damn quick reel. This is like a 4 or 5 weight made, and it says made in West Germany. This was given to me by a student that I mentored. Not particularly fancy reel, but it means a lot to me, just because that student was one of my favorite students. I used to teach fishing classes at a community college. I get all these retired guys who'd busted their butts. Ooh, it's a tiger. It's a little baby tiger. A little baby tiger. And I get all these retired guys, and I just always thought they were really fun. So, see you later, little tiger. Go get bigger. Just so many people like my dad's age who just, you know, that generation, they just worked all the time. They just worked. And never learned how to fish. They didn't have mentors that taught them how to fish. And when I started teaching a basic fishing class at a community college for adults, I couldn't believe the number of 60-year-olds I had enroll in that class. That's what they always dreamed of doing, you know, their whole lives. The guy that gave me this reel got to fish for a few years, and then he passed away. I feel very fortunate that I get to fish for decades as a living. So that's why I use this reel. It's a reminder. Also, when you're just dragging around a sink line, you don't need anything fancy. I want to go explore some different parts of the lake here. Ooh, ooh. There we go. That has some weight to it. Just a little brown. They are pretty though. There he is. I'm using a knotless net, as is required. I love browns. They are so pretty, aren't they? God. See you later, bud. Ooh, there's a hit. That's a nice fish. Ooh, good run. What do we got here? Oh, that's a pretty bow. That's what I came over here for. I was hoping to find a bow. I figured it was a bow with that big run he did. He's kind of given up after that. Oh, there he goes. Oh, yeah. Oh, he snapped me off. Bummer. That sucks. That's what bows do. They're very acrobatic. Wow, clean break. Well, that's a bummer. I don't like leaving jewelry in their face. I have mixed feelings about fly fishing only lakes. They're nice to go to when I just want to get away from people. But then again, I really don't have that hard of a time finding quiet places on my lakes. Mostly because I get out early and fish midweek. And that's usually enough to give me all the peace I need on the water. But also, I feel like it's kind of a waste of a resource because, like I said, I come out here and there's never anybody here. And these are nice fish, and I know that there are a lot of spin fishermen out there that just like to catch and release nice trout too, and not everybody who goes spin fishing for trout is out to kill everything they catch. And also, I feel like it's a little bit of class warfare, I will be honest. Entry level, even a really poor quality fly rod reel setup is quite a bit more expensive than a spinning setup. You can still get an okay spinning setup for $40. You're looking at least 3 times that for even the poorest quality fly fishing setup. I mean, the margins and markups on fly fishing gear is insane, and I know what the markups were because I worked in the industry. I saw what we were paying for gear. We were marking up. It's like jewelry. Like fly rods are marked up like insane amount of money. It just really blew my mind once I got access to that inside trade information where I could see what our buyers were paying for a $300 fly rod, and we're only paying $100 for it and making $200 off of it. It's crazy. Oop, there's a bite. Whereas, markup on the on a spinning rod's 15%. Pretty much average for most retailers. Most things that they mark up is about 15%. There you go. Movie was just getting hammered the whole time I was coming back. The little rainbow. Not too bad. One thing's for sure is all the rainbows in this lake have copepods really badly. There you go. You see all those sores on the side? That's copepods. The browns never have that. It's sort of the advantage of having browns in lakes. Yeah, that's a decent fish. The nice thing about fly fishing, though, and a barbless fishery is that there's so much weight in the line itself. Ooh, that's a really pretty rainbow. That helps keep that hook pinned in there. I lose a lot less fish in barbless fly fisheries than I do with barbless spin fisheries. Ooh, he wasn't done yet. That's a nice rainbow. Come here, buddy. Gotcha. This guy does have a lot of copepods, though. You can just see the copepods there, especially on the fin. Little parasites all down the body. It's unfortunate. He's coming back for it. There he is, got him. I just kind of let it sink out here in like 30 feet of water. I think they've gone down deeper because the sun came out. And the bite kind of dropped off on near surface, but the fish down deep were still going for it. Let's see what we got here. Just a little guy. Our little brown. Well, I'd love to hear your thoughts on fly fishing only lakes. Are you fine with them? It's okay that a few exist, or do you think all lakes should just be open to all anglers, or at least not exclusively fly anglers? I really like the selective gear rules lakes in Washington State because you can still go out and fly fish, you can still go out and spin. There's less harvest, so they can put less fish in there and you get a higher grade of fish. That's a pretty brown. Alright guys, I'll see you next time. Just remember, fish smarter, not harder.